right, y'all. Love and Hip Hop New York, season 7, episode 2. I was kind of bored. It's kind of bored. I don't know. Mona gonna have to do something because this season so far, starting out, is just yeah. I don't know, but anyways, we started out with Bianca. You know, she's performing her song in the club. Yandy is there, so we see Yandy is still obviously taking on the manager position for Bianca or whatever. She wants her to meet this DJ from Hot 97 named Drewski. Little does she know, Drewski and Bianca already know each other. He considers himself the white chocolate or whatever. Um, you know, he's been knowing her since she was young B back in the day or whatever. She wants to get his number so he could put, her record into rotation and everything. She's been knowing him for over 10 years or whatever, and it's always been like a flirting and kissing here and there type of situation, but nothing serious because he juggles a whole bunch of women or whatever. And, he was still trying to smash her on the side, but she never smashed. He has a girlfriend or whatever that's his assistant and everything, and she's like, well, why was you watching my butt then and all this other stuff if you have a girl and everything? And he's like, I mean, it was up in my face or whatever, so I mean, what you want me to do? But he says that he's gonna have his girlfriend Sky listen to the record or whatever. And he claims that he's a changed man now and that he's a good man. He don't do the stuff that he used to do. I'm like, yeah, okay, bullshit. Um, Bianca is pretty much calling him a clown because, like, how you gonna sit up here and, have your girl make business decisions for you and all this other stuff? She's a nobody and everything, and she ain't got time for him to be giving her mixed signals or whatever. But you won't let him do it any fucking way, so. But anyways, Snoop, we get Snoop. She's with, her girlfriend, J. Adrian, that's her name. Cause y'all know I didn't know it last week. But yeah, she's introducing her to Jewels and Kimbella. Snoop and Jewels, they go way back and everything, and they're good friends. And Jewels and Kimbella, they're asking them questions about their living arrangement. And Jay is like that this is her first time living with anybody or whatever. This is her first lesbian relationship. It just happens to be Snoop from The Wire. And I'm like, why do you gotta keep on reiterating Snoop from The Wire as if we don't know? We know who she is. We know where she came from. We know all that. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to keep on saying that shit. You know what I mean? But anyway, so she needs Snoop to be a one-woman woman at this point because, Jewels kind of put her out there and said, yeah, I remember when me and Snoop, we used to be out there, making it rain on the bitches or whatever, pretty much what he was saying. And, Jay, she, tells them that, but she asks Kimbella for advice on how to deal with the groupies because, girls will come up to Snoop or whatever and be like, I want to fuck her and everything. And, Kimbella, she tells her that it takes years to deal with it and you just, learn as you go. And Jewels, he's, giving his input as well and, talking about trust and everything. You got to build that trust and all this other stuff. And Snoop was like, it seems like that they're on the same page, but as far as Jay, she has a jealous streak with her. And, she also feels some type of way because, she brought Jay out there to, make new friends, not to put their business out on Front Street. So, moving on from that, we get Cardi. She's in the studio with Swift and everything. He's touching up on her. Cardi's manager doesn't believe that she's in the studio, so she wants to take a picture and, put it on Instagram and everything. And he kind of, like, reluctant at first about it. And she's like, what's the problem and everything? But, he's reluctant, of course, because, he has a girlfriend and all this other stuff. But he doesn't know how to say no to Cardi. And so, next thing he kisses her and all this other stuff. And then she, starts to bag back and everything. It's like, hold up, you making a situation or whatever and all this other stuff. And, he's saying that, I know I kissed Cardi and everything, but I still care for my girlfriend. And I'm like, whatever. But, she's like, oh my God, I don't know what I just did. I don't even remember kissing him and blase. So, moving on from that, we get Self and Snoop. You know, Self is taking Snoop out, you know, to like this open mic thing, so you know she could potentially get some new artists for her gorgeous gangster label or whatever, and he's trying to, you know, take his Gwenin situation to the next level and make Gwenin entertainment or whatever. And he has his eye on this artist named Sophie Green or whatever. And Rich, he's also there as well. And so Sophie Green, she introduces herself. You know, she raps, sings, acts, she does it all. And you know, she's from DC. I'm like, hey, 202, stand up. But no, you know, she says that she's been in New York for a few years trying to get on her grind. She has her own podcast, and I think she did some work for MTV too as well. You know, she is performing and everything, and then she comes over, and you know, she shakes hands with Rich and everything, and DJ Self, and you know, DJ Self, he's introducing Snoop or whatever, and she's like, I know who this is or whatever, and I don't want no handshake either, I want a hug. I'm like, okay, girl, you know. She I'm sorry, I'm trying to read my notes. Self, he starts talking about, you know, the Gwenin entertainment thing. Snoop cuts him off or whatever and saying, you know, forget that, you know, I got gorgeous gangster entertainment. And, you know, Rich and Self, they looking like, damn, like, just cut him off and everything. And, you know, she's like, you know, you might be a nice fit or whatever. And, you know, Snoop says that, you know, she got to see what Jay says about it or eating everything. You know, Sophie, she's down with it or whatever. And they make a toast and they locking eyes and everything, making eye contact. And, you know, she has, you know, she tells Snoop that, you know, she has her own podcast that talks about sex or whatever. And thinks that Snoop will be a good fit and everything for it. And, you know, Snoop was like, okay, speaking of that, I got my own sex line as well. Sex toy line. And you know, she's talking about, you know, how she knows how to hit a girl's G spot and all this other stuff. And you know, Self, he kind of feeling some type of way or whatever about this. He like, damn, you jacking my potential artist or whatever. And you know, he's like, you know, she's in the pen talking about a record label, acting, and you know, a sex toy line and all this other stuff. Like, do one thing at a time and whatever. So, Drewski, he's meeting up with his girlfriend, Sky. They've been together for almost a year or whatever. He claims he used to be out of control, but he's a good man now. He keep on saying that, but clearly we're seeing otherwise. But, you know, she tells us that she knows he has a rep of being a playboy or whatever, but, you know, she's upset about, you know, him being at the showcase or whatever and not telling her, and knows that, you know, him and Bianca have a past or whatever. And, you know, she's like, did the past come up between you two? And he's like, nah, and all this other stuff is just business. And, you know, she's like, well, okay, well, if other women won't, she's like, other women won't respect me if you don't show respect or whatever. And he's like, you know, that just means you don't trust me then. And she's like, no, I trust you, I just don't trust them and all this other stuff. And it's like, I mean, girl, you say you already know he has a past, you know, a rep of being a playboy or whatever, so you already knew that it was going to potentially be some bullshit with him. But I mean, you know, whatever. But moving on from that, we get Kimbella. She's, you know, with the kids and everything at like this little lunch or whatever, and she's mad at Juelz because he didn't get home until 7 in the morning, and so he finally shows up. The oldest takes the kids, you know, the oldest takes the youngest two to the bathroom, so, you know, Kimbella and Juelz can talk. And so, you know, she's telling him about how she's upset and how he didn't call her to let her know what was going on. And he's like, you know, my phone died and everything. You know, I was, you know, he was like, I didn't realize how late it was. And, you know, I was on my way home and everything. And it was an honest mistake. And, you know, he's like, on one hand, you act like you understand what I have to do to get back in this game. But then on the other hand, you giving me flack and everything. And, you know, she's like, you know, you doing this type of stuff, it just keeps reminding me of the past and all this other stuff. And, you know, we really are seeing how, you know, insecure Kimbella is or whatever because of the past issues that her and Juelz have had and all this other stuff. And, you know, she brings up this artist named John Depp. that Jewels used to work with, and he had to go away for a minute because he caused a lot of problems between her and Jewels, bringing a whole bunch of bitches around and all this other stuff. And she was like, I know you working with him and everything, but I need to have a conversation with him to let him know, like, that shit is not gonna fly. Jewels asks about her and Yandy, and she's like, yeah, me and Yandy, we're great. Yandy never cheated on me and everything. I said, damn. And Jewels is just, he just chuckling a little bit. He just sit back like, okay, like, fuck it, I can't even say shit. So moving on from that, we get Remy. She comes in the studio with Pap, and she sees the kids are there. She's like, what are the Munchkins doing here, or whatever? I didn't know that they were going to be here and everything. And she's like, so where are your new artists? And Pap lets her know our kids are, the new artists and everything. And she's looking like, you dead ass, like you dead ass, and she's laughing because she thinks it's hysterical and all this other stuff. And he's like, they got the heat and all this other stuff. And she's like, she doesn't want them gambling with their lives and everything. And she's like, if you guys want to be like a doctor or a lawyer, I could tell you what to do and what what kind of stuff you have to do or whatever. And they're like, but you're a rapper. And she's like, yeah, but it was luck. I was lucky. You know what I mean? And she's like, it's not easy. And, y'all thinking that it's going to be some fast money or whatever. And she was like, do you know the average rapper is broke and everything and all this other stuff? And Pap, he's like, why are you trying to shatter their dreams and everything? And, she's like, I'm not. I'm just giving them the reality or whatever. And don't think because, we're your parents that, you're going to get, and that and because of the fact that we're rappers, all these doors are going to open up for you. And I agree with what Remy said. You know what I'm saying? Like, especially now or whatever, it is a lot of broke artists out there. You know what I'm saying? They're not making a lot of money, and you got to think about the producing and just it is a lot that goes into it. You know what I'm saying? And she's trying to get them to look at the bigger picture. So I agree with what she was saying or whatever. She's giving them the harsh reality. She's giving them the tough love, and Pap is trying to kind of pacify them a little bit. But anyway, so moving on from that, we get Bianca and Cardi. Bianca, she notices Cardi's teeth and everything, and Cardi is like, yeah, people don't like it when you feel comfortable with yourself or whatever, and people kept on talking and everything, but I finally just decided to go ahead on and get them fixed and all this other stuff. So Bianca, she's telling Cardi about Drewski and their history and everything. And, Cardi is like, you like white men and all this other stuff. Like, I never had sex with one or anybody that's lighter than me on top of that. And Bianca's like, I never had sex with a white man either. And Cardi, she's curious. And she's like, well, if you, have sex with him, you let me know how that is and everything. And so, Bianca leaving the Cardi to, bring some shit up like that, right? So, anyways, Bianca, she talks about, their history and everything, but he has a girl and all this other stuff, and, she's like, I'm going to take him from her, and I'm like, see, I can already see right now, everybody is going to have to get on Bianca's ass this season, because that shit is not cool, and y'all know I'm not with that bullshit, but, anyways, Bianca, she asks, Cardi about her boo or whatever. Cardi thinking that she's talking about Tommy, and Bianca's like, no, I'm talking about Swift. And Cardi is like, what? That's not my boo. Why are you trying to start stuff? Why are you playing and everything or whatever? And, she tells Bianca about the kiss or whatever. And Bianca is like, that's considered cheating. Cardi is like, no, because I didn't kiss him back or whatever. And, Bianca is like, but you allowed him to kiss you or whatever. So, they playing around on that. So, moving on from that, we get Snoop. She's at Sophie's podcast and everything. They flirting and everything and all this other stuff. And, Naima Supreme is there and everything. I didn't even watch the last season of Sisterhood of Hip Hop. Was she still up there? But, anyway, so, like I said, they're flirting. She's feeding Snoop strawberries and shit. And then, Snoop asked Sophie was she buying everything. And she's like, no, I like men. I'm like, is you sure the way you flirting with Snoop and shit? But I don't know. Maybe she doing all this flirting to, try to get to a certain position because Snoop has somewhat of clout behind her name. I don't know, but anyways, Snoop is like that she would turn her out and all this other stuff, and then they take a picture of Snoop feeding her strawberries, and all hell about to break loose from that. So moving on, we get Juelz. He's in the studio with the Johnny Depp dude, and they in there with a couple of the hoes or whatever. Then Kim, she pops up, and she was like, hi, how y'all doing? I don't know y'all, so y'all need to leave or whatever. They get up and everything. She tells Depp, like, you two make fire together. I want y'all to work together, but I need you to understand, the shit that me and Juelz been through or whatever, and no bitches need to be around my man and everything. And so she tells him, or, after she has the conversation with him, she's like, all right, now get the fuck out because I need to talk to him or whatever. And I'm just like, girl, who is she to be coming in regulating some shit in the motherfucking studio? Like, the fuck? But, anyway, so it kind of reminded me of Brandy a little bit on Love and Hip Hop Hollywood with, her and Max or whatever. But anyway, so he's like, why are you here? And, Kim, she's like, we just had a conversation about this or whatever, and you're going to make me catch a case and all this other stuff, and then you're going to have to bail me out. I said, no, you're going to make your own self catch a case by sitting up here trying to fight these bitches over your man when your man is the one that owes you the loyalty. I'm just saying. But anyways, he's just trying to reassure her about everything and that everything is going to be fine or whatever. And he's not on that type of shit no more. So we get Remy. She's in the, it looked like, I guess, in the living room with the kids or whatever, and Pap, and they're trying to prove to her that they got what it takes and everything. The daughter, she doesn't want Remy to look at her while she's rapping, so she tells Remy to turn around, and she's like, all right, you know what I'm saying? I didn't really like the daughter's flow. It just kind of sounded awkward to me or whatever. I don't know, maybe if we heard it over some music, maybe it would be better. But in the meantime, Remy, she's shocked by the cussing and everything, and, they like, what you cussing? She's like, yes, I'm a professional profanity user, though, okay? She's like, y'all do what I say, not do what I do, And so the son, he goes up and he's cussing even more than the daughter is. And, he's talking about shooting and all this stuff. And Remy, she's just sitting there like, trying to keep her composure the whole time while he's rapping and all this other stuff. And Remy's like, you talking about shooting and all this other stuff, like, what the fuck is that about or whatever. But she's like, but y'all was alright or whatever. I would definitely like to hear it over some music or whatever, and to see how it is and everything. And she and they don't know that she ended up recording them, and she's like, yeah, let me play back this recording though. And they like, oh my god, like, why would you do that and all this other stuff. So lastly, we're back at Snoop or whatever, and Jay, she's in their house and everything, watching the video of Snoop and Sophie or whatever, the whole feet and strawberry situation. She's like, Snoop is the same old womanizer or whatever, and saying that she gonna pack her shit and go back to Chicago. I said, bitch, no, you not, because you need this damn Mona Scott Young check, okay? you ain't going no motherfucking where. So, Snoop comes in, and she's like, where the fuck you going or whatever, because Jay is packing her shit up. And, she's trying to tell her to chill, and, Jay's going off and everything. And Snoop, she was like, I already knew, or whatever, in her Baltimore accent, that it was going to look bad. Sophie posting that video on social media and everything. And Snoop is trying to explain who Sophie is and all this other stuff. And Jay is still talking over her. Snoop tells her to shut up and all this other stuff. And she's like, let me explain. And so, Snoop is like that it was just business and everything, and that she has a podcast and all this other stuff, and Jay's still going off, and she's like, Snoop is trying to tell her them people don't mean nothing to me. Jay is saying that, she's going to a hotel on Snoop's expense and all this other stuff, and Jay, she gets on the counter or whatever. I'm like, who the fuck is you trying to be, Tommy from Love and Hip Hop Atlanta? Like, you know what I'm saying? She getting on the counter and shit and talking about something, I'm not playing with you and all this other stuff. And, Snoop, she's like, can you get down so we can talk civilized? You know what I mean? And, she's like, either you gonna have to leave or I'ma leave or whatever. So Snoop, she's like, I'ma leave and all this other stuff. And in the hallway, she's like, man, fuck that bitch and all this other stuff. So that was pretty much the episode. Yeah, y'all. I don't know. They gonna have to do something because I was bored. Make sure you guys like, comment. Well, I think the episode. Hopefully, next week's episode will be better. But yeah, make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe. Make sure you guys come back. Follow me on social media, and I will be back for Black Ink Crew Chicago for the season finale of Black Ink Crew Chicago. All right, peace.